Welcome to Go. Today we're going to be talking about the phenomenon of online toxicity that we find in the reseller and collector communities, which manifests itself in the form of name calling. Let's get to the all boring and lackluster act of defining what is name calling by going to trustworthy Wikipedia. Name calling is a form of argument in which insulting or demeaning labels are directed at an individual or group. In politics and public opinion, politicians sometimes resort to name calling during political campaigns or public events with the intentions of gaining advantage over or defending themselves from an opponent or critic. Often such name calling takes the form of labeling an opponent as an unreliable and untrustworthy source, such as the use of the term flip-flopper. Ironically enough, the term flip-flopper is very similar to the word that we'll be discussing here. The most common instances where I've seen people resort to name calling have been in the comment sections such as those found on YouTube. On the other hand, those same tactics are also a thing when it comes to YouTube video creators. While maybe on a smaller scale, since it's a lot easier to post anonymous comments and more difficult to record a video and post it online. In this video, we'll be showing you two examples of which are actual videos where name calling is implemented. As we all know, a word may have a neutral, positive, or negative connotation based on the context in which a person uses that word. There may be additional reasons for using name calling, such as to separate oneself from another group, legitimacy over another, or a plethora of other reasons, which these pretty much do fit underneath the original definition. In some roundabout and strange way, these two examples start off by name calling as a preface to their video, to show concern for their viewers, to gain trust, and to show that they care. The first video we are going to be looking at is one by the channel Rachel Strickland, titled, "This eBay hack will change the way you list forever." I'm not really familiar with her channel, so cannot speak about her overall demeanor, but I did find the start of this video very off-putting. So let's get to showing you this clip, and I'll give you my response.
I will never gatekeep a single secret that helps me get my item sold. I want you to get your item sold also. As a very active member of this reselling community on YouTube, on Instagram, I can tell you, if anyone says to me in the comments, well, I already knew this, then I'm sorry to say you're either a liar or you're gatekeeping information that could have been helping other resellers get their items seen. And here on this channel, we don't do either. I will never.
First off, I've never heard anyone use the word gatekeeper in this context before, so I found that quite comical and have a hard time understanding to who Rachel is directing the word gatekeeper. She first mentions being part of this reseller community on YouTube and Instagram. So is she directing it to the other reseller YouTube channels or to everyone in general that watches her channel that might also be resellers on online platforms? I find it strange to call someone a gatekeeper just because he used a certain tactic on eBay. For those of you that follow me or have seen several of my videos, you'll know that I love bringing you along to estate sales, garage sales, and showing you my finds. But I never claim to teach you everything there is to know about finding estate sales, online auctions, or how to sell your inventory. And even if I were a channel focusing on teaching you those things, just because I keep some of that information to myself does not make me a gatekeeper. I also don't find a reason to rehash the same information that you can find all over the internet. You just gotta love it when someone prefaces what they're gonna say with sorry before they start slandering you. Calling people liars is just downright childish and uncalled for. The next video on the list is this one from the channel Melinda Murphy. I'm very familiar with her channel and used to be subscribed to it and still watch her videos from time to time. If you are into classic rock and new quote-unquote audiophile recordings on vinyl, this is the channel to watch. In this video, she mentions a term of which she uses with the positive connotation as well as with the negative connotation, but chooses in the end to use it negatively, and that's the word flipper. So let's get into it.
And I do have friends here in the vinyl community that they are vinyl collectors themselves, but if they spot something cool or just something that they can sell, they will buy, they're flippers. There's a difference between the flippers that will buy something and try to charge an extreme amount of money. And then there's people who, they find cool records, but they sell them to their friends here in the vinyl community and they don't charge an arm and a leg. And I think they're fantastic.
The one thing I failed to understand what is meant by an extreme amount of money and don't charge an arm and a leg. Is she referring to people pricing them more than the highest price on Discogs or higher than the median price? Or just pricing them for more than they themselves or their friends are willing to pay?
I really don't like flippers, so I want to be careful with this video. I don't want to teach flippers what to look for. At the same time, if you're watching this, I consider you a friend and I just want to give you a heads up.
And speaking about the word flipper, is a greengrocer a flipper because he buys carrots at one price point and sells them for more? Anyone remember back in the 80s and 90s the word scalper? Being that a scalper is known as someone that buys concert tickets at one price point and sells them for more, I think scalper would be more appropriate in this context. I myself actually never saw the word scalper as a negative word. Whatever someone is willing to pay has always been the name of the game in the reseller market, so why has it turned into a Debbie Downer? And if you want to price items higher than what they'll sell for, have at it. They're your records, so you can do with them what you will. I'm not saying I don't find it a little ridiculous when I go to a store and something's priced way too high, but at the same time, they're not my items. If you're going to call someone out on something, you better well define the parameters you're basing that assumption and define your exact audience. Oh, and you know what they say about assuming. At the end of the day, name calling says more about you than it does about your audience. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification to be notified of all future videos. And until next time, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.